Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Ateez's Crazy 4 music video. The latest release of theirs before this was Bouncy. I actually really enjoyed that. I was surprised that I got obsessed with the song as much as I did. So I'm quite excited to see what they've done this time. I've not watched any of the teasers, I've not seen anything on TikTok, I've not seen anything on Instagram or anything like that beforehand, so this is all going to be a complete surprise to me this time round. And I'm going to jump into it. I'm worried you're not going to be able to see my eyes because of these new glasses and they're quite reflective for some reason. Anyway, let's go. Oh, we've not got the 3-4 ratio this time. Okay, lucky. Unless we have and they've just, I don't know. Nope, we're not 3-4.
Get up.
That was the melody at the end of Bouncy. Huh. The vocals sound really different this time. Like, all three of them so far. Well, 4 including Hongjun, I guess. There's a lot of graphic work going on. Oh, the vocals are really nice. There's a lot of grain. I thought it was going to go harder than that, it didn't. That reminded me of Answer a little bit. Okay. Shot was a bit weird. I don't know why it was weird though. Oh, okay. Oh. It's not going as hard as I thought it was going to. Like as hard as what other Ateez do. That reminded me of the mask, was it of like Kingdom? Oh. That's more like it. Oh, okay. Oh, it's smashed. I don't know the universe, but I know that's important, and it's broken now. Oh, that bird looks a bit not great. Huh, there was a lot in that. I feel like every one of them had something completely different, like a different connection to something else, or like a completely different style. I feel like, because I noted a couple of times that Jongho had a lot of grain in his shots. So like you can see it more on his face a lot. There's a lot of grain there. Typically you have grain in like darker areas, which I find really strange. So it's obviously a put on effect. They've done this on purpose here. So is it to make it appear like he's from like an older sort of film, I suppose? Is that what they were going for with him? And then I noticed that Hong Jung later had the like comic book sort of feel to him. Oh, I completely missed that. Where are we? Here. He has like the comic book classic sort of style to him, which I actually think was really nice. But I'm just curious as to why they've done this, why they've done such like different styles for each member, because they kind of put Yoonho and Young together with like the hologram sort of futuristic sort of things, because we have one here and then Young a bit later with it. They're not in the same location though, because they're in different locations. Because the lighting is completely different, but obviously they've thrown something across the other. It makes you think that they're in this, like, the same room but just two separate desks, but the lighting is completely different and, like, the background setting is completely different. And then you have Songhwa on, like, the stage, which is again different from everybody else as well. But like the editing is so like, it's not exactly complicated. They haven't got like complex like transitions or anything like that, but like it's just sort of quick. It makes it feel really quite sort of chaotic almost because of how quick a lot of the cuts are. I guess that kind of goes down to like the way that the song is being so upbeat and like up tempo and stuff, because typically you want to match your editing pace to a song if you're going to do it like that. I mean, you can stylistically do it so it doesn't match, but you would normally have some sort of reason to do that, and here there wouldn't be a reason to do that for the type of content that they're going for. To have the quicker pace of editing works better. In Mingi's verse at the beginning, there's a lot of like cut on action and match cuts. So just there you had like the car going forwards and then you have the cut on action to then see it in the building. And the same with like further on when he's at the bar itself, is you're cutting on the action as he puts the drink down to then open the case that's on the table, like on the bar. The freeze was nice. So they sort of freeze all of the time and then you zoom into his face. I imagine they would have done that as a physical kind of effect. So you have Jongho sort of freeze with the gun out and then physically move the camera forwards and have everybody else around him freeze. Because you've got the graphic, the digital graphics of the gun firing as well, as you can just freeze that animation at that point. You can sort of like keyframe it at that point and everything will just sort of stop at that point. I feel like these pulses are done digitally. They feel too, not fluid, but like you can feel the Bezier sort of keyframing on it a little bit, I feel like. So by Bezier I mean that, how do I show you this? So like you will have two keyframes and then being linear would just be a straight line, so the animation would just be, it would just suddenly start and suddenly stop at these two keyframes. Bezier would sort of slow into it and then slow out of it, and that's what I'm sort of feeling with these pulses. don't know why I find that shot so weird. But it's just because like Young Sung sort of just walks into the frame and then just sort of stops. I don't know if that's why it feels weird. Because I understand that they're sort of blocked behind each other, that's fine. I don't know, it's just weird how it just suddenly stops. I don't know. Oh, so he was sort of making the ship that appears at the end? I think one issue is the text. So there's a couple of spots where there's text, be it more physical or like in Hong Jun's case where it was on the comic books and you couldn't read it because it's just too quick. I was always told that from uni tutors that if you are going to put text in like that, it needs to be on screen long enough for you to be able to read it. If it's important, you need to be able to have that time to read it. And I feel like here that doesn't really happen. So you sort of question, oh, what's he writing on here in like graffiti? And then all of a sudden it's gone and you're like, oh, okay, I don't know what that said. That mask definitely reminds me of something from Kingdom, but I can't remember which performance it is. There's definitely one where they've got masks like that. The backup dancers have got masks like that on one of their Kingdom stages. I love this like end couple of bars, because that's what I thought they were going to do more in the choruses but never did. And then it makes sense that that's now why, because they'd left it to the end. I'm just so disappointed with this bird at the end, because it's got a very distinct dark outline around it and that's what pulls it away for me, because obviously it's a digital, it's a graphic, that bird, but to have the black outline or like the dark blue outline, it's really sort of pulling it away from the background. It's really distinct from the background, and you'll see sometimes on a lot of like green screen work, it's like, it's got a name, I can't think what it is, but it's just like an outline. You can clearly see where the person's been cut out or keyed out. And keying is where you would take the colour, in some cases green or blue, you would take all of that colour and it would just sort of remove it, if you like. And here you've got that sort of outline, and I wouldn't even say it's a shadow because there wouldn't be a shadow. There's no reason for there to be a shadow. And the same thing is sort of happening with the city here, and then sort of the set building that they've got. There is still a very distinct outline, and I don't think the difference in lighting is helping, because everything else seemed to be so like well integrated into the shot, and then this particular set just hasn't, which I find really odd, and a little bit sort of disappointing that they've done so well and then just sort of, it's like they've run out of time to sort it out properly in these final couple of sequences. Do they ever come back to that scene, that location, other than at the end? So I think they don't, and I think it just comes around in full circle. Because all the other dance scenes are not in that location, I don't think. And then it's only sort of the intro and outro. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of moving the camera with actions. So, you know, use the pencil to flick the camera up, and then Mingi is sort of almost grabbing it and moving it himself. It's not quite moving the camera, but Mingi again sort of puts his drink down on the bar and sort of, what's the word, motivates the camera to move with it. I think they could have done it again there with Mingy doing this. They did it a little bit, but like I feel like they could have done it a bit more. I don't know whether it's just because it's slow, whether it's maybe more of a dramatic angle could have been better there, with the camera being moved by Mingy. I kind of wish Yongsang had a longer section, because his vocal sounded really nice there, like very different for what he normally goes for, and he doesn't really get much in this song, so I'm kind of a little bit disappointed for that. I wonder if they had wires on Hongjun wheels on top of the car. I mean, you wouldn't need to, but I'm aware of safety. Did they slow that down? Yes. So you had the slow bit, and then you cut, and then it's like the quick, sort of on the beat as they sort of bring their legs back in. It was quite nice. Brings more emphasis on that movement. His little smile there. I love it. It's so like mischievous. How would they do that without the backup dancers? Because they just stood there. They're still standing there. I'm just sort of curious how they're going to do that on stage if they haven't got all of these number of backup dancers. Because that's often the case. They're still motivating the camera with their dance movements here as well. I think the colours are really nice, like the choices of costumes, a lot of them seem to be certainly red and black, and like a hint of like white or like a yellow or gold. Certainly of the first scene with the dance sequence and then the final one because it's the same location. But even throughout, there's still a lot of like blacks. Certainly in certainly Mingy's all in black, and then even Uyong is in like white and black. Jungo is still the black, red, white, and sort of gold, yellow in his headband. Sort of there's still the dark colours of the denim jacket, and the sleeves are even sort of like a golden-ish sort of brown as well. Jungo, again, the black and white of this tuxedo. Songhwa, again, black, white, red. I think that's sort of like the thing they're going for. San, black and white. Even Yongsang is like black and sort of like the golden sort of brownish kind of colour as well. I think even in this, okay, we bring sort of blues into this sort of location. Hongjun is the only one that sort of stands out to me as not matching because he's got the green, like this emerald green. But even on like his collar and like the little band at the bottom of the jacket, it's still got the red, white, red-ish and the yellow. I think they were definitely sort of the colours that the costume designers were sort of going for sure. I suppose the blue also works as well because like the holograms are sort of blue. So the blue from like from this dance location also works as well, I suppose. I think it was interesting with the direction that they went in the it's so different from Bouncy because they only sort of really get hyped towards the end. I think I still prefer Bouncy over this. I really like that they put in the main melody at the end of Bouncy to sort of tease this one, I suppose. I'm not saying it's a bad 80s song, it's just very different from what Bouncy was and what a lot of their other title tracks are. The safety of all staff, human and animal, was ensured on set under guidance of experts. Does that suggest that the bird was real? Was there any other animals on set? Bird is not real. I don't believe that bird is real. Because even their wings look a bit unnatural. I'm not convinced that that's a real bird. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I did like the music video, I did like the song, but I think Bouncy just takes it a little bit further than what this did. In my opinion, I think I do prefer bouncy over crazy form. I think just a little bit, just a bit, and I will see you in the next one.